Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi guys, welcome to Cindy Dev Amuch. Today we're actually going to do something a little bit more on the development side of development, such as Python and JavaScript and programming in itself. So today we're actually taking on the 30-day challenge of Python. We will. So this is kind of just a way of challenging myself for getting into that coding habit again and developing programs. The reason for this is just simply because as someone who has a computer science degree, I haven't actually gotten into the habit of programming correctly or programming and thinking in a programming sense to the point of where I can develop my own apps. I know a lot of people like myself who probably has gone through something similar where we know how to develop or more so read code, and we know how to read Python, JavaScript, or we know how to read Java, we know how to read the HTML code. We can see it, understand it, and basically explain our soul out to the next person who doesn't understand what's happening in the code. But we ourselves, like when someone would ask us, listen, develop something from scratch, we don't actually end up developing anything for ourselves, or we can't think of developing anything. Someone said develop a clock from scratch now. Like, I know Python, I know Java, I know how to read it, I know how to understand it, I know C++, I know the functions and what it means, and I can see a variable and I'm like, that I know in that line there's a variable here. I know the loops and the for loops, the if statements, the while loop, how it functions, how it works. But if you were to tell me develop something, do something, anything in code, I will probably struggle like a lot. So this idea actually came about from another TikTok I've seen, and someone else was complaining about it, and I've seen other people then recommend this Python 30-day challenge. So from this point onward, for the next, I don't know, 30 days, I guess, until the end of November, I will be attempting to at least complete one exercise per day. If I complete more than that, then so be it. But let's stick to the actual goal of completing one exercise a day. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Here it is, the 30-day Python coding for all. So this repo is from Asabene. I'm not sure where he's from, but yeah, I'll be looking more at this 30-day challenge. This is Python. So at the end of this, I'm hoping that we can develop something for ourselves, more so than developing random things that I don't know, that might not be beneficial. But I think the idea for me right now is that after 30 days, I kind of want to jump into the idea of game development. Jump into the idea of, of developing an app that is beneficial to me. Introduction to Python. You can go to the GitHub repo, just type in exactly this 30 days of Python. It should come up. It's the most searched thing when it comes to Python, I guess, these days. Explaining why Python, the environment setup. So this will just take you through the entire setup of installing Python on your computer. But now if I were to just go in and do exactly this, we can actually see, if I say Python version. You can see it is actually at the latest version for me. See, it says Python interactive shell is open. Let us do some basic mathematical operations. It's actually, let me actually just do this. We can do 2 plus 3 equals 5. 3 minus 2 should equal 1. 3 times 2 will be 6. 3 divided by 2 will be the 1.5. So the 1.5 is obviously modular and not division. That is a lie. That is division. My apologies. Modular would be 3 modular 2 should be 1 left over. Modular is the leftovers of from the division of 3 divided by 2. You left with the most common factor, which is 1, essentially, not 1.5. For expressions, you're going to have 2 asterisks times 2, which will give you 3 squared, which is 9. It's very basic. So here they say in Python we have following additional operations. 3 modular 2 equals 1, which means finding the remainder, which is 1. As you see here, it's the remainder of what is within the 2, and we haven't done that one yet. So 3, oops, which means the removing of the remainder, which is still 1. Let's change the above mathematical expressions to Python code. Yes, okay. So here they are doing explaining that this is addition. Yes, okay, let me just clear this. Let's change the Python shell has been opened. Let us write the comment. The comment which is not executed by Python, so we can leave some text in our code. Yes, so the comment is used by the hashtag. Okay. Oh, basically just added this into the thing. Cool. The main part of this is just to understand how you can use the terminal to write Python code. We know that to use this for, it's mainly obviously to write the text in a string format, and then to comment out something. Double quotations will still be a string. A string can be a single character or text page. So all of this is one string, and then if the text is long and you need it to be quoted, yeah, okay. Okay, so now installations of VS Code that we've already done. I'm not going to go through this. And you obviously want to utilize VS Code. So once you install VS Code, you can start a new I don't do this again. Oh, control N, new file. This will be a Python file. Apologies, I think I am in the wrong directory. Actually start a new file, Python file, and exit this. So they're taking you through the very basics of this to start it into a directory. I went through the old school method, so we can actually come here to the Explorer, open up a folder to where we're gonna save this in. So I want to save this onto the desktop in my learning folder, and I've created this folder here. That is that file, and we can create plus, and we can say this is day 1. Day 1 is the file name. Just a heads up that day 1 will be the file name, but this is a Python file, so let's actually delete this. Can I delete this? Okay, move to trash, new file, and we can say Python underscore day 1.py. There we go. That's the Python file. So .py is the way to indicate that this is a Python file. So basic Python. Hello world. In the terminal, you can obviously just print out to hello world, and this will end up in the next line of hello world. In Python, it's a little bit different. So let's go through this. The Python indentation. So we went through this now. It's basic. Oh, the indentation here. That's what I was so confused. It's a space that you're not supposed to have there. That's causing the error. So obviously you want to keep comments in your Python file. So you can see here the hash. This is a comment. Cool. We know this. Going through all of the comments. These are the strings. These are booleans. Okay, so multiple quotations. You can have multiple lines commented out. We can go through the data types, which you're looking at numbers. So integers, which will be your negatives all the way to positives, which will be whole digit numbers. Floats will be decimal points included, so 3.5, 2.25, 1.1. Yeah, that's basically what that is. And then strings will be obviously in quotations string. Booleans is basically true and false. It's no, I don't know what else to say there. It's true and false. A list will be in something very much like this, where it's the big brackets on the keyboard, not the squiggly. So it will be things like big brackets like that, and inside that big bracket we will have 1.1, 2, 3, 4. That will be this will be a list, and you can have it in string format, but you must include the quotations. So you can have this as a list and you must include quotations. You can either have it in double quotes or you can have it in single quotes. Doesn't really matter. So we can say banana. It's horrible handwriting. Banana. In comma, single quote again, or comma, lychee. You see here, the squiggly line comes up if you don't add anything to indicate there is a error at this point, because this can now be referenced as a variable, or it's, as you can see here, if you hover over, you can see it says lychee is not defined, which you need to define what this is. So if we were to just put it into single quotes like that, there we go. It's defined. Dictionaries are in the squiggly quote, sorry. So you can say this is dictionary. In these squiggly lines, let me just, in the squiggly brackets, you can now enter. And the way they have it here is that you're specifying the category and what's in that category, right? So it's like a list of things, as you can see, but you specifying first name, semicolon, what that name is. Let's actually do that. So we're saying first dash name, semicolon, name will be there, and then comma, second line, which will be second name, comma, need, and just say job, broke. And that's a dictionary. And as you can see here, they have another thing here that can list out the amount of skills. So you can see here it says skills, and inside that dictionary is a list. We can have that, adding another comma here, and we can say that let's just say something different. Food. We need a list. There we go. Let's say did not do that. I cannot type today. Burgers, what else? Pasta. There. Don't worry about the red here on my thing, or the red colored thing. I have an extension that actually makes it, makes the background colors red for indentations. I don't know why it took this to be red, because the VS Code already has a built-in thing that allows you to see words being like, or syntax errors. So you saw the squiggly line, for example. Squiggly lines here, it's yellow to indicate that there's an error, or because something is undefined, and something will be red when it just will not work. There is going to be a complete error and it will be a complete failure. There will be something on the side here of the VS Code in the small little box here. The entire thing will light up in red, and you can see there will be error code all over the place. But this is just for indentations. So if I were to do this and then indent it, see the changes, and you see it does light up red here under dictionary as well. So yeah, so you see that will be something of a syntax error which will not run and it will not compile. There we go. So tuple is in the brackets. So here tuples are ordered collections of different types of data, like a list, but tuples cannot be modified uh, once they are created. So it's kind of like a static variable, where a static variable will be something that you will say like static and say call it name equals Java. That will be, this is exactly the way you'll actually naming a variable that is static in Java. And obviously you'll have like syntax that will be like that. But this is Python, so you won't do it that way. Tuples, like it was specified there, so you can just say tuple equals brackets like such. Let's say my name I don't know, I'm just writing random stuff for now. These are just random things. Cool, just leave it as such. That is a tuple and it cannot be changed. It will, every time you call the tuple, you will always get it in this fashion of my names, cars, tools, and computers. That's what will come up when calling it. A set of collections of data similar to list and tuples. Unlike list and tuple, set is not an order collection of items. Like in mathematics, set is in Python stores only unique items. Now, I haven't actually used, this is the type of things that I look at and I'm like, how do you, when are you ever going to use this in coding in terms of a real world use case? So you have to go back to the terminal to initialize these things. And you see here, set that actually is only, I don't see them using any string variables in the set. So you're using the squiggly brackets again, like you did in a dictionary. But in a dictionary, you can see how a dictionary is using a first name in quotations to specify category and what's in that category. Yeah, they're just using the values, integer values. That's basically just put into this order. As you see here in the comment, it says order is not important in the set. In a set, so now you can basically just go through the terminal work again, check the date, the data types. Check the data type of certain data variables. Data or variables, we use the type function. In the following terminal, you will see different Python data types. Obviously, when you call them, things pop up. So you see here, you specify type, and in the brackets of type with the condition 10, it will class it as an integer. You're calling it that way. So let's actually, you know what? So we can say type class int, and if you say type 3.14, close it off, class over float. We can actually use in terminal code, we should be able to use the up button. You can go to and basically call upon the previous things that we have done before. And we can close that off and we say 1 plus 3j. comes back as complex. And if we do the whole listing, say 1, 2, 3. See, syntax error. So I did not add my second thing over there. So the second closing bracket, that will come back as a list. And then we can actually, strings, we can actually, if I say syntax error, because I did not include in that quotations. So if I say, put it in quotations, there's a string. And then let's do the dictionary. So to remove a dictionary, I have a category. We can say name that with the semicolon, and then in another quotation what that string is. We can say Carter. Don't know. Don't forget to close it with a squiggly bracket again. Specify a dictionary. And then for tuples, we have to use the big brackets, another bracket again, and we will specify things. Put 6 there. That will come back as a tuple. And go to type. This is a non-dictionary thing. So we'll say 9.9, 23, 7, 6, 6.45. You can see that's a set. That's the basics of this. We are now instructed to print in the, well, they named it the hello world.py. We, on the other hand, have it as python_day1.py. So yeah, we can actually cancel all of this. We can say print this, and we can say print 1, and I believe if we run this in the console, you should get 1. So as you can see here, you do end up printing out 1. If we to write print brackets, remember quotations for a string. We want to type in a string, and we say my name, and we say enter. Nope, not like that. So enter. Okay, you see we have print 1, print my name. If you run, there is the next lines, the next print out. Quite straightforward, I guess, but let's now see what the example they are utilizing here. So they basically did all the mathematical things, all the mathematical outputs, and then all the data type checks. So in Python, in the coding of Python, as you see here, type, all of these things inside the bracket in the print, you will, in the terminal work, you will basically just typing all of this straight up. But now in Python code, you need to emphasize these things. So let's actually write this out properly. And specify here. Data checks. Okay. Not a capital. You don't need a capital P. But yeah. So 3 plus 2. And I'm just gonna copy and paste in each line. So we can just get through this quickly. Times minus not 6 modular, and what was the other one? Just simple division. Okay, data types. We want to type. And with VS Code, you don't actually need to type. You just need to obviously type. Like for example, if you say type and we say the squiggly bracket, the big brackets, I only need to type it once, and the second set of the closing bracket pops up. So the nice thing about Python, VS Code, I guess, and these IDEs. And actually, we need to copy this. What else? We want a float. Float. We want 1 plus 4n. That's interesting. I can't say n or m or s, but I can say j. That I don't know why. It's also a variable, a blank variable in a sense. I and j, I guess, is just the normal way of specifying things within Python. We need a list dictionary setting. The list will be a list of numbers. Let's just dictionary. Gonna have cars, and we're gonna say Toyota. We're gonna have Honda. Oh, sorry, I accidentally did this incorrectly. I need to put a list here. There we go. Toyota, Honda. That is a list of a dictionary. And then the other one was a set. So there we go. So if we were to run set code, actually delete that first, clear it up, and then run. And there it is. There it is. Okay, That's our example. Right, so I guess we did all of this exercise now. We actually ended up doing exercise level 1 right now, which was to open Python interactive shell, get operands going. 3. Okay, so here they're asking for 3 and 4. Not that we needed to do 3 and 4. We can do. Can I say that? That what is the command now? I keep forgetting the command. New. Find 2. Replace with 4. Can I say all? There we go. Anything that's related to 2 is replaced with 4 now. So the here the mathematical values of 2 is now 4, I guess. That is a simple way of doing that. So it's Control H. Go to replace, and you can type in a string. So we can say here, you see that it picks up the full string of my name, and then we can change it to another string. We can say Kyle, and then on the side here it says replace all, or you can say Control Alt Enter. Control Alt Enter to replace all names or strings or variables or anything that you want to replace it that way. There's that. So this section is done. Okay, write strings on the Python interactive shell. The strings are the following: your name. So we can then do this. Python. So strings, my name is 1, family name, that one, country, and the phrase I am typing, damn, join 30 days of Python, close it, there we go, and then data type checks. Can actually do that in the code. Here we are. We want to do data type of 10. That's all that's it. 9.8. So 9.8. 3.14. 1.14. 4 minus 4j. 4 minus 4j. A list. We are taking a list of strings. So we are saying Asa, oh, asa bene, that Python and Finland. Python, Finland, Finland. Oops. There's that. Okay. Strings of my name, family name, and country. So is that part done? Or typed in country, my word. And that's the first exercise done, I guess. We can actually run this. There we go. Answers 7, 12, -1, 0, 3, and 0.75. The class, the data types, you can see it's a class int, a float, another float, a complex class, a list, and the 3 strings. That's that. Exercise 1 is complete. Exercise 2. Create a folder named day 1 inside the day folder. Oh, I mean, I did that already. Inside day 1 folder, create a Python file, hello world, and repeat the questions 1, 2, 3, and 4, which, I mean, I didn't do. The first one is just check Python version. Oh yeah, I can actually do that. This will have to be done in the terminal. So we did 2s and 3s. We can actually this strings. So we can just print out name again, print out family name, out country, and then print out I am enjoying the days of Python. That's that. See, the checking of Python version you have to do inside the terminal. So if we bring up, you can actually check the Python version over here, 3.112.12.11. Into the terminal, we can do Python -- version. There we go. Done, and we can actually run this. There we go. Level 3. As an example for different Python data. For different Python data types such as number, integer, float, complex string, boolean, This is where it's like a math problem. So write an example for different Python data types. I'm very confused. So they just want us to take this part, put them into variables, and then print them. Okay. Integer. So we can say integer x equals I don't know 18, and then print integer x, which is that, and then print type integer x. I'm just going to comment all of this out. Oh crap. Let's see if I got that, if I have it understand correctly. This should then output as printing, and it should print integer x, and it should give me 18. So this should end up being 18, and then this should end up being that, what is this, class equal type, what is this, integer, something like this. Should end up being that. Yeah, like something like that. Okay, let's just see. Yeah, it did work. Okay, cool. It ended up being, so that's what they want us to do. Okay. So this one now will be float. Still use integer x. Turning it into 3.2, and then printing integer underscore x, and then printing type of integer x. Oh crap. Integer x. That's that one, and then the other one was complex number. We then say integer x will equal 3 plus 55j, and that's what you print out. So integer x type integer x, and then random data types with variables, so string, booleans, list, tuple. Okay, this is going to be a string, so we're going to say we can put a name. We can actually say name, and That's a string. Print name, print the type, which will be a string, class of string, and this will be Boolean. So this is y, and we can say it is true, and then we can print y, and then print type, which will be definitely a Boolean, and then or else a list, tuple set, and dictionary. We're doing list first, variable list, and we can do like this, cat, do quotations, fish, jaguar, lion. Okay. There. And print it variable, and then print the type of variable that it is. And another one, a list, a tuple. Let's do a tuple first. TT will equal tuple, and a tuple is an ordered list. So we can just say print TT, and then print the type of TT. You're looking for a set. Can I just see if I say that is the set? Cool. This is it. Oh, that's horrible naming. One point 2.3.4. Okay, we can just say that's a set. And print these are horrible names, by the way. And then a dictionary. Now that a dictionary, let's say dict, and dict equals the category. Let's say animal category, and we can say cat, comma. We can have a list inside of it, so we can say category of cars, and we put this in a list. Toyota, BMW, and one more. I'm going to say under. Okay. Print dict, and then print type, which should be dictionary. So that's all of this should come out as with the class specifying what type of class it is afterwards. And then after the list, did come out as a tuple. It was tuple. Haha. Ordered tuple is an ordered list. So that's that. Set and the dictionary class. And that the boolean there came out as true. Float, yeah, okay, cool. That's done. There we go. Find between 2, 3. This is the one that I'm very confused by. Euclidean. So I understand it as if I'm correct. So basically from Wikipedia, I guess that's this calculation. Okay, I see. So okay, I get it. It's a set points. So we got 2, 3. So 2 will be P and 3 will be Q. So let's actually go to here. So point P will be P 2 and 3. So this will be effectively this will be P1 equal to 2 and P2 equal to 3. And then we can say Q, which will be 10 and 8. 10, 8. And this will be Q1 equal to 10, Q2 equal 8. And the equation for this will be of BQ to the power 2 equals Q1 minus B1. So it'll be Q1 minus B1 all squared plus or minus. Is it minus? It's plus. Q2 minus B2, yeah. Q2 minus B2 all squared. Essentially, we are writing this equation out. So let's get it done. So we can specify, there's multiple ways we can specify this. I'm going to do it in the simplest way is to use Q1, Q2, P1, P2. Let's say P1 equals 2, P1 equals to 2, P2 equals to 3, Q1 equals 10, Q2 equals 8. Based on that calculation, we can specify that as a variable. So we can say, let's put it into a variable called, we can say x equals, in brackets, Q1 minus P1, and for the expression we can then say double asterisk to do a squaring, and then y can equal Q2 minus P2, double asterisk to square it, and then can have the sum as a variable to output. So now that we know that this whole section here is x and this is y, so we can just have it as x plus y, and then print out a sum. Based on that, if we do the calculations ourselves, we can see Q1 minus P1, which will be 8 square root is 64. And then Q2 minus Q, that is 5, square root of that is 25. 25 plus 64, 25 plus 64. If we do the sum ourselves, let's actually do that. So we know there should be 10 minus 2, which will be 8 effectively, and then that will be 8 squared, which will equal to 64. And then this will be 8 minus 3, giving us 5. Which is 5 square root 2 gives us 25. And all of this together should be 64 plus 25, giving us 89. We are expecting the answer to be 89. Let's see. Yay, 89. Look at that. So that's day 1 of the Python challenge. So yeah, there we go. Day 1 of the Python challenge. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm actually... So yeah, that was the Python day 1 challenge. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I know this is my journey of me learning how to program again, learning how to do new things. It's a bit of a slow, it's going to be slow. I know it's going to be slow, but it will, at some point we should actually gain some progress into developing our own application. And I mean, a month is a long time, and hopefully we can progress further. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I will see you next time.